How does being autistic affect you?
Well, to get a diagnosis of autism, you have to have difficulties in communication, in rigidity. So for me, for instance, my brain is very much like a computer that has to process every interaction, every sight, sound, smell that I've experienced that day. And I can't fall asleep until all of those things have been processed. And then it's almost like my brain's a central processing unit and then it can switch off. So I think that's the best way to explain me.
Yeah. It's a motor and engine that doesn't have a chance to stop. So
Yes,
thank you,
definitely.
thank you for sharing that. And so, what's the biggest impact of being autistic?
For me, it's the effect that it has on my physical and mental health because the environments I'm in aren't supportive of me and my sensory profile. So it means it's a constant battle for me to survive in environments that aren't conducive to me, which has then a detrimental effect on my health, causes me not to be able to sleep properly because my brain has to process everything before it can switch off. So I think that would be the biggest one. But I have done things like gain. I've gotten, I've studied to master's level in autism. I'm able to have a really good job where I'm supporting the equity of communities marginalized by race and ethnicity. So although there are difficulties to being autistic, there are also a lot of positives as well.
I think you shared about the battles and the non-conducive environment. I think it depends, as you said, if we're in a conducive environment, it's very different to
Absolutely.
one that basically completely, it's the environment that disables people, not people being disabled per se.
Definitely.
No, thank you. What are the key things that organization line managers can do to support?
Support is, you can support people by asking them questions. You can't just meet one autistic person or read about an autistic person and then believe you know it all. Every person is different and everybody's difficulties and strengths are different. So you have to ask how that person needs support and then work with them to put that in place. So as an autistic person, you're classed as a disabled person and you're entitled to reasonable adjustments under the Equality Act. So that's something that organisations need to be aware of. And for me, I guess I've had the best opportunities to thrive in environments where individuals ask me what I need instead of just putting in blanket adjustments and assuming it's going to work for me.
And how do you think your autism benefits you, or what do you find easier than others?
I'm not any good at maths or science. That is not my area, but I think in pictures. And so for me, I think I'm really creative in the work that I do, and I'm able to think out of the box. I look at things through a different lens, and I think that helps me to connect with individuals better, especially in my work where I work with the voluntary sector. So I'm working with communities and people from the communities, and I think when people have difficulties or maybe English is a second language, actually infographics and things that are done in pictures are a better way of communicating with one another. So that works really well for me and it helps in the profession I'm in.
Women, girls are typically diagnosed later than men and boys. And typically that's because masking and also fitting in and being, less obvious through the hiding. So, it definitely notice that, Sophie. And thank you so much.
Absolutely. And then,
You go
sorry,
on. Please, Melissa.
and then add to that being a black woman.
Yeah.
So again, there are those perceptions
Mm,
of us. And so because of that, we are
mm,
also even more
mm,
unlikely to receive a diagnosis
mm.
of autism.